Big trouble is brewing for the U.S. economy and the housing market, and if you think I'm kidding, check this out.
6 out of every 10 people surveyed said that paying for everyday expenses negatively impacted their mental health. More than 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck as of September 2023. 63% of workers say they wouldn't be able to cover a $500 emergency expense. 46% of Americans said they have a balance on their credit card because of an emergency expense, according to a creditcards.com survey. 10% coming from car problems, 11% to cover unexpected medical bills, and 10% for home repairs.
If you're buying a $400,000 home with 20% down on a 30-year fixed mortgage, at 6%, your monthly payment is $1,918. That's without insurance or property taxes. At 8%, that jumps to $2,348.
So as you just saw, the suffering is real, and it's not just average income earning people. Take a look at this graphic right next to me. People making $150,000 per year are also struggling, and they're having to use credit cards to get by. Now, I know what many of you might be thinking. How in the world could people who earn $150,000 per year be living paycheck to paycheck and needing credit cards to get by? Now, obviously, some of them are living way beyond their means, but many of them are not. And it just goes to the bigger picture as to how massively overinflated the entire economy is. And in the upcoming segments, I'm going to show you guys some new data that's really going to shock you. Stay tuned. What's going on, my YouTube friends? This is Jerry Abbott, your #1 real estate resource here in beautiful Las Vegas. Hey guys, a couple of real quick things before we dive into the video. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to learn the cold hard facts about the U.S. economy, the U.S. real estate market, and specifically the Las Vegas real estate market, then definitely subscribe to the channel down below. Number 2, if you happen to like the content in today's video, make sure to press that thumbs up like button, guys. That would really help the channel out. And number 3, if you are thinking about relocating to beautiful Las Vegas, whether it's next month or next year, I've got your back. I'm a local real estate agent here. I've lived here for nearly 20 years. I know every inch of this city. When the time is right for you, definitely reach out to me. Just call, text, or email me anytime, and I'll help you find that perfect dream home. Let's dive into the video. All right, so I don't want to waste any time. I want to drill down specifically into the real estate market, and I want you guys to watch this short video clip that I just saw the other day that was really pretty shocking. Take a look at this.
Homebuyer demand, it's plunging even further as we enter 2024, with CNBC reporting that mortgage demand collapsed by 9.4% in the final weeks of 2023, despite a drop in interest rates. And it was this drop in interest rates that was supposed to reignite buyer demand in the market, but that's not happening. The home buyers are still on strike.
So that short video clip just goes to show you that the tide is now starting to turn in the real estate market. Interest rates have come down pretty dramatically in the last couple of months, but demand has yet to pick up. Now, the real estate season is the slowest during this December through February time period, but it's also because there's a stunning lack of affordability still, even with where interest rates are now, because home prices are still very high. Take a look at this graphic coming up. All right, so you want to talk about how unaffordable it is right now to own a home in the United States for the average person? I want you guys to take a look at this mortgage calculator page, and I'm going to show you 2 examples here just to show you how stunningly unaffordable it is right now. Take a look over here in the far left in that small upper box where it says home price. I have that at $400,000 because that's about the average home price in the United States right now. Now here on the first example of the down payment, I'm going to show you the typical down payment of 20%, which is $80,000. That means someone, if they're going to put down a typical 20% down payment, they have to have $80,000 to put down. Now just underneath that, mortgage interest rate, 7%. I'm keeping it right now at about 7%, even though that can fluctuate a little bit. And then right at the very bottom, it says loan type, 30-year fixed. So take a look right in the middle of the screen there, right inside that green and yellow circle. $2,875 is your total monthly mortgage payment. Now you can see on the right, it breaks it down. Mortgage payment, principal and interest, $2,129. On the upper left in yellow there, it says taxes and other fees, $642, and home insurance, $104. That brings the total to almost $2,900 a month, which basically means if you're using a 30% debt to income ratio, you need to be making at least $110,000 to about $120,000 a year to comfortably afford the average price home in America right now. Now, one last thing on this example, take a look on the far left side, right where I'm moving that small arrow cursor, right where it says down payment. I dropped the down payment from $80,000 to $40,000, because a lot of people obviously don't have $80,000 laying around to put for a down payment on a home. So the average down payment is almost about, I would say right now, about 10%. So 10% of $400,000 is still $40,000. So if you put $40,000 down on this home instead of $80,000, take a look again right inside the yellow and green circle there. $3,328 a month is now your monthly mortgage payment. So by not putting that extra $40,000 down on the down payment, your mortgage payment is going up another $500 a month, which again means your total income has to be somewhere in the ballpark of probably at $130 to $150 to be at this kind of a mortgage payment. That's how unaffordable it still is to buy a home here and afford it in the United States. Now, since I'm located here in the Las Vegas area, I want to show you guys a major problem that's going on here. Now, it's happening across the country, but it's especially problematic here in Las Vegas. I'm going to show you that in the upcoming segment, and I'm also going to show you some shocking price reduction examples on the popular real estate website Zillow. Take a look at this. Now, here's the big problem happening here in Las Vegas and across the country. This is the cancer to the residential real estate market. This just happened in Las Vegas. Take a look at this headline here where it says, Wall Street-backed landlord buys 264 Las Vegas homes in $98 million deal, even though Sin City has the nation's worst housing shortage, as study shows corporate sharks could own 40% of all U.S. homes by 2030. Now, here's the thing. Not only am I completely disgusted that Wall Street has been able to invade the residential real estate market to the magnitude of where they can buy hundreds or thousands or even tens of thousands of homes just to make money for their investors, is the perfect example of corporate greed and should be completely outlawed. But more importantly, it's been keeping the real estate market propped up, in my opinion. And when things go south with the economy and we hit rough water, that's where things can change, where people cannot afford the rents on these Wall Street-backed homes, and people are not going to be able to afford the actual purchase prices. In fact, I'm going to show you an example of a home that I personally sold about 18 months ago to a Wall Street-backed company, and you're going to see the dramatic difference now in the price. Let's take a look at that. All right, so let's take a look at this home that I sold for a client about 18 months ago, right at the peak of the real estate market. Now, there's a specific reason why I'm showing you guys this home. Take a look right here in the upper middle, right here in that bold font where it says closed, $469,000 on July 1st. So this was literally the peak of the real estate market and the maximum value for this home. You can see my name right here in blue that I highlighted just to show you that I listed and sold this home. But there's a reason why I'm showing this to you guys, because this home was purchased by a Wall Street-backed investor, but I want you to take a look at the price of it right now, 18 months later. So take a look at the bottom middle of this page, right where it says Zestimate $385,300. Now, this is the current market value that Zillow has this home estimated at. Now, sometimes Zillow gets their estimates wrong, sometimes they get it right. I know this particular home, I looked at the numbers. This is a pretty good accurate number right now for what this home is valued at. The reason why I'm telling this to you guys is because a Wall Street-backed firm bought this home from me and my client about 18 months ago at the peak levels of almost $470,000, and now the home has dropped $85,000 in the last 18 months. So it just goes to show you that even Wall Street, with all of the billions of dollars that they have and all of the thousands of homes that they're buying, doesn't mean that they're always right and that their timing is not always right. So again, if you're patient, even in situations like this where Wall Street is buying these homes, you can still take advantage of them by just being patient, because taking a look at this example, you can see that this home has dropped $85,000 since they bought it. So if you're patient and you take a look at these home values that are coming down, I expect this to continue, especially as we go through 2024. All right, so staying on the popular real estate website Zillow, I find dozens and dozens of examples of homes that are massively overpriced or massively reduced here in the Las Vegas area. I'm sure that's happening across the country, but I want to stay specific to my geographic location here in Las Vegas and show you 3 examples, starting with a luxury example, then a mid-level luxury example, and then around an average price point example, just to show you the kind of price reductions in this particular market right now. So let's take a look at this first one right here. All right, so this first home for sale here in the Las Vegas area is a luxury example. I know most people can't afford this kind of a home, but I want to show you the kind of massive price reduction that's been happening here. This is basically a brand new home. It's currently listed at $3,549,000, but just above it, you can see a price cut of about 10 days ago that was about $45,000. It's a 6-bedroom, 6-bath, almost 6,000 square foot home. And then right at the bottom here, you can see it's a pretty hefty HOA fee, because obviously this is a luxury community. It's $557 a month. But again, more importantly, I want to show you the price history chart down below below to show you the kind of massive price reduction that's been happening with this home. All right, so take a look down in the bottom left where I highlighted this in blue, right where it says 3/4/23. So that's about 10 months ago. This home was originally listed for sale. You can see over on the right side for $4.2 million. They had no buyer. They then tried to rent the home for $25,000 a month. They weren't able to do that, so then they went back to just price changing it down to $4 million. And they've been reducing the price for the last 10 months, where you see, as I'm scrolling through here, right at the top, you can see right now that they just did this final price reduction right at the beginning of this year for $3.5 million approximately. That's a $700,000 price reduction in the last 10 months because, again, it was massively overvalued to begin with 10 months ago. And now the sellers are coming back down to reality and the price is continuing to drop and there's still no buyer. So again, this is nearly a 20% price reduction. Even though it's a luxury home, this just goes to show you that patience is the prudent play, because whether it's a luxury home or an average price home prices across the board are continuing to come down. All right, so let's take a look at this second example of a home for sale here in the Las Vegas area. Definitely coming now down in price. You can see on the left side, this home is currently listed at $765,000. In the red text just above it, that small text says price cut of $15,000 about a week ago. So this home was about $780,000 a week ago. It's now down to $765,000. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and it's only 1,637 square feet. So this is a relatively small home. It's a brand new home on the west side of town here in Las Vegas. But right here in the bottom middle too, you can see right where we're moving the arrow, this also has a hefty HOA fee, again, of $400 a month. But again, more importantly, I want to show you guys the price history chart at the bottom to show you the reduction that's happened on this particular home. All right, so take a look down here in the bottom left, right where it says May of 2023. This home was originally listed for sale for $900,000 by the home builder. This is a brand new home. They have not been able to find a buyer, obviously, at that price point. And you can see as I'm scrolling up here, they've been reducing the price slightly through the course of the last 8 months, where you see right at the top, they did a price cut a week ago, and now it's down currently to $765,000. That's a $135,000 price reduction, guys, in just the last 8 months. I find dozens of these examples here in Las Vegas every single week, whether it's on Zillow or any of the other popular real estate websites. Patience is the prudent play, guys. I've been saying this to you guys for the last year, and look what's happening. You can see these price reductions that are happening. So if you're patient, especially through this winter time period, I think these price reductions are going to continue. All right, so let's take a look at this third example of a home for sale here in the Las Vegas area. You can see on the lower left, now we're right down at the average price point, which is about $450,000 here in Las Vegas. This home is currently listed at $455,000. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,843 square foot home. But again, I want to show you guys the price history chart down below just to show you the kind of price reduction that's happened in a fairly short period of time with this particular home. All right, so let's look at the price history on this. Take a look down in the bottom left where I highlighted this in blue, where it says 7/17/2022. That was 18 months ago, right around the peak of the real estate market. If we look over here on the right, they listed the home for $550,000. They were not able to find a buyer, and then these sellers removed the listing about 2 months later. They took it off the market, and then they didn't relist it until over a year later. They came back to reality. They knew they couldn't get $550,000, so they relisted it a year later for $475,000, and they still can't find a buyer. And they just did a price cut here. You can see right at the top where it's currently listed at $455,000. Now, if we go up a little higher into the chart history here, you can see the estimated market value from Zillow. Now, again, Zillow's algorithm on estimates are not perfect, but you can see the value that they have it at $442,000. So that just goes to show you 18 months ago, this home was probably valued close to that $550,000 level. Nobody bought the home, and look where it's at 18 months later. It's now over $100,000 below that max value. So again, guys, it just goes to show you that if you're patient, those max values 18 months ago have been coming down pretty dramatically. And again, I continue to think that that's going to happen as we go through the rest of this year. So here's the thing, guys. The tide is slowly starting to turn in the real estate market. Even though home prices are still relatively high, they're starting to come down slowly, as are interest rates. Demand has definitely dropped off, and more inventory is starting to come to the market, which I especially think is going to happen later in 2024. Also, if the economy hits rough water like I'm expecting it to, and we fall into any kind of a recessionary situation and unemployment goes up, that is going to cause even more problems for the real estate market, which is good news for buyers because that means ultimately home prices are going to come down. So if you have the luxury of time on your side and being able to be patient and wait things out, I would definitely wait through at least a good portion of 2024 before thinking about buying a home. So before we end today's video, I just want to give a shout out to my favorite comment from last week's video. Now, I actually have 3 of them this week because you guys sent me in a lot of great comments and I couldn't decide which one was my favorite. So I'm going to put each one up here on screen that I think you guys are going to find really shocking. Take a look at these. So this first one from 66 Gun says 10 pack of toilet paper, 10 pack of paper towels, 1 large Listerine, $55. This second one is from Integrity. Tires for my car are $1,800 for 4. 2 years ago, they were $1,100. And this last one is from RCP. Chipotle the other day, ordered my usual. Bowl, no rice, no beans, double meat, guac, queso, corn, salsa, lettuce. Total was over $25. I remember $13 to $14. It's certainly never been over 20 before. It is pure gaslighting to say inflation has been beaten. So not only are those price increases incredibly shocking, it's actually really depressing, but unfortunately that's the state of the economy that we're living in right now. I definitely want to hear from you guys. Drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you're frustrated about in terms of what you're paying for something right now compared to what you used to pay for it. And my favorite comment from this week's video, I'm going to give a direct on-screen shout out to in next week's video. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I also hope you appreciate my transparency. Like I've said before, I'm always going to keep it 100% real on this channel regarding the overall real estate market, with specific emphasis here in the Las Vegas area. So again, guys, like I've been advocating in a lot of my previous videos, I think the tide is starting to turn now in the real estate market. I definitely think home prices are going to be coming down in 2024, especially in the back half of 2024. So if you have time on your side and can be patient, definitely wait things out. Wait for those lower home prices to come. With that said, I know everybody's circumstances are different, so if you are thinking about buying a home, especially here in the Las Vegas area, I've got your back. I'm a local real estate agent here. I've lived here for nearly 20 years. I know every inch of this city. When the time is right for you, definitely reach out to me. Just call, text, or email me anytime, and I'll help you find that perfect dream home. I'll see you in the next video.